Right, so today's topic is gonna be what bowl should you choose for your little pet, okay? I think this do apply to dogs, cats, birds, rabbits. I think this one do apply to quite a lot of different animals. But this is just going to be a short just going to be a short introduction to the bowls. We're going to explore more. We can explore more later on, okay? So first thing first, which bowl? What kind of bowl should you be using? Main thing we're talking about here is the material. In front of me, on my table here, you can see from left to right, a porcelain bowl, and then second one is a glass bowl, the third one is the stainless steel bowl, and the fourth one is a plastic bowl. Okay, well, I would say the first, second, and the third one kind of sits at the similar level. Depends on what animal you get and how they behave as well. Okay, so in that case, that means that the plastic bowl is the worst one, yeah? The reason the plastic bowl is being the worst one is because plastics are actually quite porous, and they're very easy for you to make scratches on. All those little crooks in the middle, like the cracks, all the little scratches, all the little dents on your plastic bowl, and also because plastics being a bit more porous, they harbor bacteria, and it's very hard to clean it properly. Very, very hard to clean them 100%. So plastic bowl, I would say the benefit of using the plastic bowls is that they're very cheap. They're like super cheap. Yeah. If you have like temporary animals, you're not going to be using those bowls for long, then plastic bowls are good enough. They're pretty good enough. So the stainless steel bowl, glass bowls, and porcelain are pretty good materials to use. In the sense that they don't harbor bacteria as much and they're easier to clean off. Okay? Now, the different benefit of these three depends on what kind of animals you have. And yes, so porcelain and glasses, they're actually very, I would prefer this if you have smaller animals like rabbits, you have guinea pigs, even ferrets sometimes, or cats. Cats do like porcelain and glass bowls as well. I wouldn't quite recommend for dogs just because of how destructive they are. Obviously, if you have a chihuahua, then by all means use these two. But if you have a large dog, if you have a kelpie, if you have a border collie, if you have some crazy Labradors, they're going to like throw your bowls around. Nah, they're easily broken. These two materials, they're very easily broken. If you have like chips on the side, if they have cracks in there, again, it's going to be dangerous for your dogs because they lick it. They use their tongue to lick the bowl, and they might cut their tongue, or they might eat like chips off pieces off the side. So I wouldn't recommend it for dogs unless you have a very well-behaved small dog that's not going to be destroying your bowls. Yeah, but for small animals, I do recommend them. They're quite heavy. If you have a rabbit, for example, they do stay at the same place pretty good, and they're not that easy to flip over. I would recommend porcelain or glass, and they're pretty as well. There's a lot of pretty porcelain bowls out there. So yeah, I do recommend them for small animals. Stainless steel, as you guys have all been staying there already. Yeah, Dogs. I would recommend it for dogs because of how difficult they are to destroy, and they're not gonna chip and things. Even if they dent, they're not going to release like materials out of it. But I find that cats don't really like stainless steel. It might be related to like how cold they are, or maybe because they're like kind of like metally, they have some like strange magnetic field or something. Cats don't usually like stainless steel bowls. So for cats, I would recommend porcelain bowls or glass bowl more. Um, Stainless steel, I usually recommend it for like destructive animals like big dogs. Some ferrets are crazy and they just like flip their bowls everywhere. Then I would recommend stainless steels as well. But yeah, yeah, they're very cheap as well. Stainless steels are actually very cheap. I think if you go into like Asian grocery stores or something, like the dry market, Asian dry market, you will find a lot of like stainless steel bowls, like $1, $2 or so. And yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm. Um, the second thing, this is about the material of the bowls. But and then second thing is about the shape of the bowls. The shape of the bowl, okay? Um, Usually for dogs, they like the deeper ones. Deeper bowls are fine with them, and they can hold a bit more food as well. Um, and yeah, big dogs, big dogs. If you have a big bowl, you can hold a lot more food. They seem to be pretty good with licking the corners of the bowl. They like blah, 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 and then lick the corners and clean the whole bowl. So I think deeper bowls and big bowl, deep bowls are pretty good for doggies. For cats, um, cats is actually very sensitive. Their whiskers are very sensitive to the surrounding. It's more recommended for you to use a wider but shallower bowl. Do you have the experience, like the cat owners, all the cat slaves out there? Do you have the experience of your cat only eating in the middle of the bowl, but they're not eating, like they don't eat the sides of the bowls? We're always laughing at cats, like looking at their bowl, they just eat the middle part, and then there's more food at the sides, and they just screams at you. It's not. It's not because they're blind. It's not because they're spoiled. It's because the food is at the corner of the bowl. It's too hard for them to get to there without being uncomfortable with their whiskers. It's because it's too close to the side. If they push their head towards there, the whiskers is going to touch everything, and they're gonna be like, yeah, I don't like that. Yeah. So that's the reason. That's the reason. It's not cats being assholes, although they are. But they are. But for that reason, they're not being an asshole for screaming for you for more food. Okay, it's because of the whiskers. Yeah. So use a flatter, a shallow, wide bowl, or maybe call it a plate. Use a wide plate for a cat. They're going to be a lot happier. Then for other small animals like rabbits, guinea pigs, generally you just use a bowl that they're easy to reach. Yeah, that like big enough for the face to stick into. That will be fine. Then the third point of what bowl should you choose, about the height of the bowl. There's a lot of newer bowls, like the fancy bowls that sells for like $135 online. It's like, say, elevate your bowls. Those. Oh my god, I sound so sassy. But yeah, there's a lot of fancy bowls out there that claims that they lift the bowl off the ground. Yeah. Um. Again, it depends on your animals. find the right height of the food. They generally do say dogs and cats, if you can lift them off the floor a little bit, obviously not to their eye level, those kind of things. It's like just lift it up a little bit so they don't have to lower their head so much. It's not like they're eating off the ground. It does help with them swallowing. It does help with them swallowing the food, because if their head is looking down on the floor and the food just goes up, the food is traveling against the gravity in your esophagus. So yeah, lift it up a little bit would be fine. I would say half of the animal. It's just, yeah, actually I think, yeah, half of their body height. Don't go more than half of the body height. Like, they don't have to like lift their head too much. But like, yeah, lift it off a little bit would be better for dogs and cats. But if you have a herbivore, so if you have a rabbit, a guinea pig, or even rats, they are herbivore. They are in the wild. They're made to eat grass on the ground. They're supposed to eat the stuff on the floor. Yeah? So elevated bowls for them is actually not a good thing for them. Place the bowl on the floor so they can just sit comfortable and have their head like dip down. That's more natural for them. That's more natural for the eating posture for them. Yeah. For birds, oh, I haven't been talking about birds. For birds, it's fine. For birds, other than the material, they're like acrobats. As long as you have some place that they can land their feet on, they're going to make it out. They're going to be like on the side, hanging upside down. Yeah, they're natural acrobats stuff. They can eat in whatever position they are in. They are crazy animals. Yeah. Okay, thoughts on auto feeders. Really depends on the situation. First thing first, auto feeders, they have a lid to put the food in there, right? It depends on how secure they are. If you have a fucking crazy animal, if you have an animal that's like a thief or like destroys everything, it's not going to work, because even though it's like auto feeder, it comes up from the bottom. If your dog is smart enough, it's going to find where the lid is, and it's going to open the lid and have a buffet. Yeah? If you have a smart ass Labrador, it's going to tip the whole thing over and eat everything out of it. That's the first thing about the auto feeders. The second thing is, you are putting a large amount of food like exposed to the elements. Like, even though they say it's closed, but they still have like open and close like a little trap door to let out food, right? So they're going to oxidize a bit quicker, and they're going to contaminate a bit quicker as well. So like, for the sake of saying bacterias, mold, moisture getting into the kibbles, all those kind of things, I personally don't recommend that. Same as the big tubs, the huge tubs like that holds like 10 kilograms, like 20 kilograms of dry food, and you just open and close, reach your hand down, scoop one, scoop out, and close it, and that stays there for like a month or 2 months or so. I'm not a really big fan of that. I would more recommend like you have a smaller container and top it up the container from another airtight container that you're not going to open all the time. I think that's a little bit better way to do it. Yeah, the key is airtight, and best to put usually the dog food bags or like the dry food bags, they usually come with the what are they called, the moisture absorbing thing, the the desiccator or something. I can't remember the name of that. That packet that absorbs the moisture. Put that in your airtight container as well. Mm. Like if you want a big tub to put your food in, make sure that big tub is not the one that you're going to be reaching in and touching the food and messing with it all the time. I would say maybe a week to 2 weeks worth maximum of food in the tub that you always open and close would be the best. Otherwise, they just degrade. Yeah. But for auto feeders, back to auto feeders, yeah. I would say if you dogs, not usually, not really, but if you have a cat and you're going to be gone for like 3-4 days maximum, not too long, like one, maybe, yeah, even 3 or 4 days, and you just want to say they should be fine, or maybe like overnight or something, you just want them to have food, not eat all the food at the same time. If you give them a big bulk, they will be good, they will be pretty easy. But if it's a dog, not really. Not really. Dogs are not great to be left alone for more than 24 hours. Yeah. So yeah, they're fancy. Auto feeders are fancy, but they're expensive. They don't treat they don't store the food in there good most of the time. And yeah, I think they're just overpriced fancy stuff that the pet tools industry is trying to scam owners' money. The best auto feeder is you. Not auto, obviously. The best feeder is you. You as the slave to your pets, okay? Yeah. There you go. It's a scam. It's a scam. It's just something to get your money from. Oh, okay. How do you feel about water bowls that are like fountains that keep the water moving? People have told me those are better for animals. Is that true? Yes. Especially for cats. Cats don't like still water. They don't like still water. There is a reason why cats like to drink out of tap water. It's because they like to drink moving water. So having a water fountain for your cat actually do encourage them to drink a bit more. They will be happier to be drinking. And most of the water fountain do have a filter built with it as well. The filter is actually going to filter most of the gunk out. Say cat hair, the food that was dropped into it. They're pretty good at filtering those out, so it keeps it a bit cleaner as well. But still, even though it says a water fountain, you still have to clean your water fountain at least twice a week. Yeah, like the water, the container, like the tub. You still have to clean everything out at least twice a week, because I have seen water fountains with like algae collecting on the bottom, and like you have to clean the filter as well, right? They look muck under there if you don't clean them often. Don't just like top up water with a cup or something. You can do it for a few days if you're like a really lazy animal. But yeah, still wash it. For dogs, yeah, I think for dogs the filter is actually pretty good as well. But personally I do think because dogs they're like slobbers. They have a lot of saliva when they drink, and like they slobber and like flick things everywhere. It might be smarter for you to clean it at least every second day, if not every day. Yeah, just because how dirty dogs are. How dirty their little ass are. Yeah, they slobber. Yeah, clean it every day. Change your water every day if it's the dog. But I do think that the water fountains do encourage dogs drink a bit more as well. Mm, mm. For tiny little animals, like the little pet animals, water fountain, it's a little bit more difficult for them because most of the water fountain that was sold out, like sold outside in the like the retail, they're all so high up. They're all like maybe like at least for cat height. I haven't seen a water fountain that's low enough for tiny small pets, like pocket pets. That's why we say pocket pets, because they're so small. Yeah. I usually would recommend depends on what you get though, like a water dripper. The water dripper is pretty good for rabbits, guinea pigs, rats, ferrets, and stuff. Um. All right, guys. Thank you so much for coming. See ya, guys. Thank you so much. Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye bye.